Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you haven't watched my first video on the channel ever, where I'm going to talk to you about retreating and how to actually make some cubes in the game and not always D-rank, then make sure to watch this video because it's absolutely crucial, especially for pool 1 and pool 2 players. But today, no, my friends, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna go through my deck a little bit and my decks in general. I still have that old deck showing here right below my cam. That was my Hela deck from last video. I'm just gonna keep it in for now because you know, it's still a good deck, it's still a viable deck, and it's a lot of fun to play as well if it works. You know, if it works. Sometimes it doesn't really work. But today we're gonna be doing something else. We're gonna be talking about some decks that I made, and I'm also gonna talk about my collection. And you know, because I just scratched pool 3, I'm a little bit further into it. I'm on, I don't even know how far am I, man. I'm 1165 and counting, everybody, and counting. So let's see what we have in here. Do we have something good? Do we need something? Gambit is actually not a bad buy, but I don't think it's worth the credits, but that's why I'm not getting it. I don't even have the credits, but even if I had them, I wouldn't have probably gotten them. Actually, I drew Wave yesterday, which is really interesting. It's really good, man. Wave is a good card. Is one of the S tier class cards. I still haven't figured necessarily out how to play it, really. I do have Death, so I could do Wave, Death Wave, or whatever it's called, the deck. But I'm just gonna go into my collection here, and I'm just gonna go through the cards that I have, and for everyone else to, you know, just I don't know, just get a little bit of a understanding. Especially this is more aimed towards the pool 1 and pool 2 players, where most of you are going to be probably at. I highly doubt that you know, you're gonna watch I don't know, if you're a pool 4 or 5 player, I don't think you need this video. But I mean, sure, if you just like to see me, that's strange. But anyways, let's get right into it. And first of all, I'm going to talk about Ant-Man a little bit. Ant-Man is one of the first cards that you're going to get somehow and somewhat. It's a really good card, you know, especially in a Khazar deck, which, I mean, that was one of the first decks that I played, which was Khazar. And especially in pool 1, I would believe it's probably the best pool 1 deck that you can build. My girlfriend has been playing it because she just started out, and she's, you know, absolutely smashing it and destroying opponents. She's like level 30 or something now, which is really good for pool 1 because with a really good Patience Khazar deck, I think you can even go into Infinite. I think it's possible because I already got to level 50, 60 with a Khazar deck. It's possible, and it's a really good deck, and you need Ant-Man in it. Ant-Man is a really good, or Kazoo. I call it Kazoo because you're going to fill the locations with a lot of cards right at the end, right at turn 6. This is what the difficult thing to, even for people to guess what you're doing. I mean, they're obviously going to see that you're gonna play Khazar and Blue Marvel, but they're also going to be very confused in turn 6 because in turn 6 you basically only have these two and a few others on the board, and then you're suddenly going to spam the whole deck with ones, and they're going to be buffed up. So Ant-Man is definitely a key card. Electra is possible. You can play Electra in it. That's a really good card because it destroys a random enemy card that also costs 1, so it's kind of good for a few plays, but I don't really use Electra that much anymore. Same goes for Hawkeye. That was more of a pool, I don't know, Hawkeye's pool 1, right? If you play a card here and the next turn it's going to be +2 power, so it's a 1/3 card, but you are kind of forced to play that as well. Of course, if you play like a Mysterio or something that's going to take all 3 places, I guess that's fine, but I don't really play Hawkeye that much, and I don't like the variants of Hawkeye either. Never really liked him as a character. I do think this one, the baby variant, is quite funny, but in general, I don't really play Hawkeye a lot. Nova, of course, is a very, it's a kind of a key card for a pool 2 deck in Destroyers. You know, Destroyer deck, for example, is a really good card. You can buff up your whole, you know, squad with +1. You can also, you know, do some other plays with it. It's really good. Same goes for Squirrel Girl, especially in pool 1 and pool 2. I think Squirrel Girl is really good as well, especially for the Khazar deck or the Kazoo deck, because it adds 1 power squirrel to each location, which means with 1 card you basically have 3 cards that you can power up on the field. Sunspot is in my eyes still one of the best pool 2 cards there are. Probably it's absolutely S+ tier. You can always use Sunspot, and it's just a really good card because at the end of each turn, gain +1 power for each unspent energy, because, you know, sometimes you are not able to play cards and you are literally just going to waste your energy, and sometimes I just look at it, I'm like, oh, I wish I had Sunspot here if I'm not able to play in turn 5. You know, it happens, it sometimes happens, and I think Sunspot is a really good card, you know, to go through. So yeah, the really good card. Same goes for Agent 13 because it adds a random card to your hand. Angel as well is also good for destruction decks, that when something gets destroyed, Angel's gonna fly for free, basically, onto your field, and it's a 1/2. You can buff him, but in general, yeah, you know, it's Angel. Iceman, very strong card, very annoying card as well. It gives a random card in your opponent's hand +1 cost. These cards in general are just so annoying sometimes. They just, I don't know, it's just so weird, man. Sometimes if you have a healer or Hela or some 6 card that you really need to play, and the Iceman is really hitting it, and it's just super annoying card. I mean, you can kind of counter it out as well with I don't know, Luke Cage or something. I don't know if that actually works, but yeah, Iceman is annoying. Iron Fist. Man, you see a lot of Iron Fists in movement decks. I think he's a key card in pool 2 movement decks. Iron Fist is really good. Moves the next card you play on the location on the left, so I guess that's not really bad at all. Corgi is just because I just like the character. I love Korg. It's a very funny comedic character, and I just like Korg. I don't know why. It shovels a rock into your opponent's deck. Could be really important and annoying as well. Sometimes plays out well, sometimes it doesn't, since you don't know. So yeah, still a good deck though. Mantis, I don't really know. Well, I don't really use Mantis a lot because I don't like these kind of guessing where the card goes decks, you know. Same with the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know. You always have to, especially in the beginning, if you pull 1, pull 2, you don't really know where your opponent is going to settle down, so it's basically just based on luck. And you know, I would say in the beginning going towards the mid pool 3, and I don't know, I still don't necessarily always know where my opponent is going to play the card, especially if you have it like at the end, like turn 4 or 5, maybe then you have a better understanding of it. But I don't know, Mantis is more like a, I don't know, well deck. It's a alright deck. Misty Knight has no effect at all. Ooh, why am I so tired today? Misty Knight is good for, I guess, Patriot something decks where cards are gonna get buffed that have no effect at all, so you can literally make them have an effect, basically. So yeah, Nightcrawler also S tier card, definitely. Nightcrawler is really good because you can move it once, which means you settle it down, and sometimes you just either need the extra boost, or it's a stupid location and you want to move it away, or you know, you just want to make some play. So movement in this game is really good. So Nightcrawler, Vision as well. Vision is really good, and yeah, especially for a cost 1 card, you have like a little bit of more, you know, flexibility on the board, that way you can actually choose to not just base everything on luck. Now Quicksilver is I think it's a, what is it, pool 1. I don't play it anymore. Not many people play it anymore, and especially in the higher ranks, I rarely see Quicksilvers. Gotta be honest, but sorry, you kinda have to pull through with my yawning today. I've been awake since very early on because I had something very important to do today. So Quinjet, really good card, S tier I would say as well. Cards that didn't start in your hand cost 1 less, so everything that reduces the energy spent on cards is really important and really overpowered. Like, I don't know, Sarah or Mr. Negative decks, although Mr. Negative is a little bit, you know, you kind of need Psylocke for it, and you need some other cards for it to make it work. But yeah, it's just overpowered, especially Quinjet. You know, it's a 1.2 card, which means you can kind of almost play it always, you know. And if you pair it with Moon Girl or some other ones that draw cards for you, or something you have to duplicate, they will cost 1 less. So that's really good. If you pair this with a Sarah in turn 5, you can make cards really cheap. So this is a really good card if you have it. But this is not pool 1 or pool 2. I think this is pool 3. Rocket Raccoon, yeah, I guess kind of a strong card. You can use it in Khazar decks. I use it in my Khazar deck. Again, you kind of have to, oh god damn it. You kind of have to wiggle yourself in and see what is happening. Uatu is so-and-so, the Watcher. It's fine, you know, it shows you what locations you have, and, you know, if you have them in your hand, you see where the locations are going to, or what the locations are going to be. I would say it's a pretty good card, but not necessarily, you know, the best. Yondu, same. It's just an annoying card if somebody destroys your card from your hand, unless you have some sort of a build for it. But Yondu is just an annoying card. I use him sometimes, especially in the beginning. I used Yondu quite a lot. Same goes for Blade. For Destroyer decks, I still use it in my Hela deck. I think you can still see it below my face. He should be in the Blade. Yeah, it's just the first card that is in there, so really good. Ebony Maw, also pretty good, but the only thing that is kind of a little bit annoying is you can't play cards here anymore, so you kind of have to pair him with, I don't know, Invisible Invisible Woman maybe, where his card is going to be hidden until the end. So the synergy is there and you can do some good plays with it, but I don't know if it's really worth it. I mean, the payout is pretty good, so 1 out of 7, but you kind of need different cards to make him work, or just drop him down and let somebody else just kind of work themselves up so they don't lose the location, and then you just do a different play. So you can basically do a lot of mind games with Ebony Maw, which I personally think is good. Angela, very strong card. You can kind of use Angela in so many builds. It's just really good. Just a really good card for 2. You can make like 2, you can make like 6, 8 points you can do with her. She's really strong, so I highly suggest if you have Angela, put her in your deck, especially if you're in tier 1 or tier 2, pool 1 or pool 2. I think Angela's gonna do really well, so shall go for it. Morbius is also a pretty good card, especially for for some stuff, man. It's really good for destroyer decks and stuff. So +2 for each time you discarded a card in this game. So basically, again, for my Hela build, he would be a really interesting card to play. So yeah, pretty good. Definitely something worth thinking about. Bucky Barnes, important card for destroyer decks. I would also put him at not maybe S tier, S plus, but definitely in the A tier. It's a really good card. When this gets destroyed, you get the Winter Soldier. You can use this with Carnage, with Venom, with Deathlock, anything that destroys. I guess that's a really good choice. Dagger, also for movement decks, really good. So when this moves to a location, it's going to give you +2 power for each card in your opponent's hand. So that's really good. Forge, also strong. Give the next card you play +2 power. You can do this really well with Brood. I think it's called Brood or Broad Brood. I think it's Brood. And it's going to make Brood really strong. So Luke Cage is pool 4 and it's going to be dropped to pool 3, so I'm not going to be talking about that, but it's still a good card. The Collector is also really good. When a card enters your hand from anywhere, it's going to get +1 power. Really strong with Moon Girl. So yeah, the Collector also has some interesting variants, gotta be honest. Look at this. This is my favorite variant, but the Pixel version is pretty cool, and there's this version, so yeah. Cable, also alright. Put the bottom card of your opponent's deck into your hand. I don't know. Yeah, it's alright, I guess, but it's not necessarily S+ tier. Carnage, really good. I like it. I like Carnage. Is a really good for destruction decks. Yeah. Daredevil, I haven't played Daredevil much yet because I just recently drew him. It's also pool 3 as far as I believe. Same goes for Goose, so I'm just gonna leave these out just a little bit. I'm gonna just look at them just really quickly. But yeah, nobody can play cards that cost 4, 5, and 6. And for Daredevil, it's get to see your opponent's 5th turn, which is kind of really strong. I mean, you can kind of base your play around that then. Hazmat also afflicts all other cards with -1 power. You can make some crazy plays with Hazmat. You can really make some crazy things. And here's the one that I was talking about, Invisible Woman. As far as I believe, is also pool 3. These are all pool 3 cards. Craven, as far as I believe, is pool 2. Sadly, it doesn't tell us anywhere, or does it? Does it tell us which pool it is? I don't think it does. So I kind of have to like wing it a lot as I go along. So Craven is also really good when a card moves here. It's good for movement decks. It's gonna get +2 if you move just one card there. So if you move multiple ones, you can easily get Craven to like a +10 card. It's possible. Medusa, yeah, I wouldn't call her really OP or anything. If this card is in the middle location, it's gonna get +2. I guess it's fine, but whatever. Mr. Sinister also adds a Sinister clone to the location with the same power. Pretty strong if you buff him up. If you buff Mr. Sinister, you can get like 2 pretty strong cards out of it. Okoye is also really good, but I don't know. Pool 2 or pool 3? I have no idea. But also good card to buff your deck. Give every card in your deck +1 power. So that's pretty strong if you play her early on. Let me see how far I'm in. I'm still, yeah, it's gonna take some time until I'm gonna finish the whole thing. I don't know how long I'm gonna make this video, you know. But I am already in on 15 minutes, so I might be, you know, doing, a 2-parter out of this, so I can fill some stuff in my on my channel. So this is how far we got. I'm gonna be going over some more stuff in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this channel. I just recently launched it, started it. I'm gonna do some crazy plays with some weird intros with some weird decks, and I hope you guys will enjoy this channel a lot. And until then, I'll see you. So peace out, goodbye. Next part, let's go.